name's Cordy, and I'd like to think of me as the Alan Partridge of guitar, playing sort of jazz in North Norfolk. Today's video is kind of a little hybrid-y thingy, but we're talking about jazz, given that it's a Sunday, and one of my tunes that was on my list that I talked about last week was my favourite thing, so I'm going to talk about how I would play this. Hopefully that's of interest to you, and I'll put the tab up on Patreon and kind of my workings and workbook for this idea. My arrangements are kind of not static, and so I'm more writing down some of the current ideas and ways that I'm playing things, more so than anything too cemented. So that's going to come in a second. Before that, I wanted to just quickly talk about a Bill Evans tune. Before that, I just wanted to talk about a question that I was asked on Patreon about playing Bill Evans style voicings. So there was two tunes that were given as an example. One of them was My Foolish Heart, which I know quite well, and it's also another one on my list. And some of what is great about Bill Evans playing is these voicings where, imagine on a piano you've got two hands. One of the first things you do as a pianist is kind of, your left hand will do kind of big octaves and things like that towards the bass end of the guitar. And one of the things that Bill Evans kind of said, and he's not really the first one necessarily, but he's one of the ones that people cite as saying this is about, leaving space for the bass. So his hands tended to be closer together. And I think what you end up with is voicings where you've got kind of close seconds and things like this. So this particular voicing is one that I would use for that B minor in My Foolish Heart. Now, I don't think this is exactly what he plays. I think there's some more notes in it. Is what I would play. That was how I would voice that. So we've got a B minor, and I'm playing in the bass of it the second, or the 9. So a C sharp, then a D, and then an F sharp here. So if we're playing kind of a standard tune and stuff like that, I feel like you can leave kind of these spaces in chords, and I think it still sounds good. Or you could do it with a B minor in the bass. So that's what I took out of My Foolish Heart, that. And I guess you can also use that. So you could use that on the 2 chord or on the 6 chord. So if we're in A major, you could use it on the B minor. And I think it's got a bit more space and stuff than just using a bog standard. And then the other thing that he showed me was this tune, Sometime, something, I don't remember. But what I do remember from it was this. So at the start of this tune there's this vamp. And it goes something like this. That's the first chord of it. So what you've got there is a C, a B, a C, a B, another C, and then an E. I think the second chord is something like this. So like an F in second inversion. Sorry, a C, a G, which is that 9 again. And then an A, and then a C, and then an F. So that was what I initially heard from the tune and worked out. But if you imagine you're trying to play those together, it's it's a bit difficult to get between them. So I thought actually let's just chuck it all down here. So how I'm playing that then, like this, so with a C, a G, another C, a B and an E, and then switch. So it's going to be difficult, but so I guess this is kind of a use it or lose it thing. So if you learn a voicing like this, what I would try to do is chuck that in other tunes that you know, and move it around. So say we're going to be in G for the next tune that we do, or E minor, so let's try and move that. So the first chord, I think I would play like this, and then the second I would play like this. So, sorry. So I need to do something that's going to increase my familiarity with those so they don't feel like weird grips, and so I can actually use them. So I'll chuck them in this song at some point. So my favourite things. Quite a nice tune, given that it's one that probably a lot of people, if you're playing to people, will know. So I think it's a kind of good one to play. There's a few different ways you could play it, and I think some people play it in all sorts of different ways. Versions that I've listened to and liked: Jonathan Kreisberg, John Coltrane, not much else outside of that. But the original tune in the film is in D sharp or E flat minor. Not a very guitaristic key, so I do it in E minor. So this is how I would play it, and the tabs for this will be on my Patreon, and the music for it. And I'm just gonna, I can't go through every single part on this video because I think it will take too much time, but I'll just show you the general shape of what I might do. So basically you end up with this thing repeated twice. So that's the very first part of the tune. So what I'm doing is picking with my pick and also my middle finger, so gaps of, so I'm starting on the A string and the G string, and I'm sort of moving that whole then on the repeat I might do something that's slightly different. So I'm going to start the same, and then so what I'm doing there is trying to involve another counter melody. And the way to figure that out is to just practice it super slowly. So that's kind of an opportunity to practice some cool counter melodies, that particular part. And then this next part you could do something like that as well. And if you listen to Jonathan Kreisberg's version, he's got some all kinds of crazy stuff going on there, so that might be worth checking out. Then we move on to this next part when the something bites. And here is potentially where I might put in that little vamp that I'm practicing, because it's got that kind of nice feel to it. If I can remember it. So let's just try and stick that vamp at the end. And the fun thing about this is that you might discover other little chords whilst you're trying this. So hold on, let's try and figure it out again. Here was one that I discovered yesterday when I was getting the chord wrong. Quite nice. Start the end part with an E minor. So we start the end part with an E minor, and then a B7, then a D minor 7, C, so and then we'll try and so yeah, that's what I'll be trying to experiment with. Hopefully you get something out of that video. I'm going to put the tab for this up on my Patreon if you want it, and there'll be a backing track as well. But I think it's quite a fun tune to play, and there's some bits in there that I've kind of planned that I think might be fun to check out if you are into this sort of thing. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you for another video soon. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be really cool. And there's a buy me a coffee link just in case you wanted to make a one-off kind of donation. I'm using the Line 6 Podgo preset Eric Clean 3 in this video, but I think it will also work on HX Stomp. I'll put the links in the description. But thank you for watching. Cheers.